Cool.
I support it.
My husband doesn't watch these.
I support this message. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi,
Who knows
welcome.
where that picked up in the conversation.
We're just talking about the guys that Jackie's going to marry and eventually divorce. It's fine. Nick, if you're watching, hello. I am married, but we can work something out.
Jackie, don't invite people with that. You're gonna find some weirdos who are gonna hit you up in the DMs.
Probably.
No,
I don't
Nick
pay to
Bosa
spend
and Nick
anyway.
Bosa only.
Like, if I don't know you, I'm not going to respond.
Oh, goodness.
Here you are on the TV.
That's creepy.
Oh, yay. Look at us.
Becky likes to look at herself.
I do.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that's a lie.
I guess you film YouTube videos, so it's going to be some part of it.
That's right.
Well, welcome. My first, if you're now watching, my first reading sprint. And so my reading sprints with guest hosting for the Black Hat Book Coven. So thank you for letting me join. And you get to experience my first time breaking my cherry over here.
Very Coven, we love it.
reading sprint.
B card, hand it over, sweetie. Hand it over. Hand it the fuck over.
Well, we appreciate you hosting
Yes.
so that I don't have to.
I was going to say,
I
Becky
will-
will just make anybody do it, so.
Yeah, I definitely helped my mother-in-law move today, so no thank you.
So. My
You
first
would be
sprint
the
had to be
first
by myself.
person
I
to.
have bruises that appeared out of nowhere. Like, I don't know where they came from.
That happens to me all the time.
Yeah. So, what do we want to go do a little round robin a little bit and introduce you guys yourselves and I mean you guys know yourselves. Oh wow, I can't do this right. You know me. And what book you're gonna be reading tonight? I guess.
Yes, because some of us won't be reading the book club.
Laura.
Nope.
Nope.
Just blame it all on Laura.
As per usual.
Hey, it's okay. Those are the rules. You can read anything.
Yep.
So. Well, go ahead, Kristen. Introduce
Oh,
yourself.
normally it goes the other way. What you're just throwing it to me.
Becky. Yeah,
That's not how this works. Anyways, my name is Kristen. Kristen Craze Books. The live show for this will be on my channel, so I should be good in reading Gravebriar, but I'm not because I need some time. I'll forget it all by the 6th or 7th of April when you're actually gonna do that live show. So I think I'm gonna start. I finished a Fate Inked in Blood before I started this. Like on the last sprints I was on, I've been sprinting for ages, it feels like. And I think I'm gonna start an arc of The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. You know that one?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
It comes
Very
out in
excited
July,
for
so I have a lot of time. But the first printing has like purple sprayed edges, and I'm like, I'm gonna read my arc to see if I want to actually pre-order that or not.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do
I
that.
tried to
And
get
it's
an arc
written,
of that,
so
and
it's
they
so
didn't
appropriate.
accept me. Did you like the Daniel L. Jensen book?
Yeah, I loved the first half. It was like a 5-star book, and then it kind of fell off a bit, but I still liked it. It's not as good as The Bridge Kingdom, but I still liked it.
And see, I hated the Bridge Kingdom. So
Hater.
See, the Bridge
Is this the
Kingdom was
sequel to
4
Bridge
stars
Kingdom?
for me, but yeah.
Is
No,
the
totally
Fate Inked in
different
Blood a
world.
sequel to the Bridge Kingdom?
No, it's a completely different
Okay.
world. And if you read The Bridge Kingdom, that it's fantasy, but not really. There's no magic in it.
Okay.
Fate Inked in
Is-
Blood has magic. There's a magic system and everything.
Because it's on my list to
Yeah,
buy,
so-
but I was like, I didn't know if it was a sequel or not. So I was like, oops. Okay, cool.
And it's so pretty.
Yeah, that was
so.
that
It
what
is
threw me off with the Bridge Kingdom was it's historical, but there was like it's fantastical because of it not being in a real place. But it's,
Yeah. That's the only thing
There's
that
no
made it fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess I'll go. Yeah.
Laura.
Okay. I'm Laura from the channel of Book Circus, and so I accidentally started reading something the other day because after we had our conversation about upcoming book club books, literally the day after, Orbit sent me an arc of the
Oh.
and I accidentally started reading it. So that's what I'm reading.
Shame.
I know. I couldn't help myself, but I have to say that I'm in love with this. Like, this is everything that I needed in the
Oh,
moment.
good.
So,
That's good.
yes.
I was about to say, well, if you don't like it, we can always change the thing, but we can't because I've already recorded the video.
Oh,
So we're stuck with it.
It's stuck.
yeah.
Maybe you'll have to reread it again.
Yeah, I'll reread it. I'll gladly reread it for June.
Laura will
but
not
yeah.
be reading Honey Witch on that sprint as well. So her
Right.
thing will continue. It's fine.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So I'm Jackie from First Lady Reads. And I will actually be reading the book. And we just learned, okay, so this is the dust jacket for this book if you're reading a hardcover. But if you take it off, we learned that this
So
is
pretty.
the image on it. So surprise, surprise. And I discovered this just now because I just took it off. They all saw me do it. It's fantastic. So this looks dope as fuck. And I'm super excited because this cover looks awesome. And I can't wait. And there's maps.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There is a map.
Yay!
That's what I
I'm
realized
excited.
that the Ink and Blood didn't have a map. Did you notice that, Kristen?
Yeah, it doesn't. I have it right here. How convenient. Yeah. No, it doesn't.
What doesn't have it?
It doesn't have a map.
Oh.
A Fadington Blood. But look at the edges. You can't tell. But it's so cool.
Is it silver?
It's like a
Like a bluish
blue.
silver, yeah.
Oh, like a
Foil.
holographic
It's
almost?
holographic.
Yeah.
That's
It's so
cool.
pretty. Yeah.
I like it.
I wish they would have done like some foiling on the cover though. It's embossed, but it's not foiled.
Yes. But it's not a special edition. It's just the first printing.
Come on, make it really good if you're gonna go all out.
Oh, by the way, this cover, the undercover is that buttery soft material. So it feels like
Oh, I love
super
those.
smooth. So if you see me doing this, it's just the material, guys. It's just a thing.
I literally
We get it.
just bought it because of that discovery. I was just going to listen to the audiobook, but I just bought it with quickness.
You might want to listen to the audiobook and see if you even like it.
That's okay.
I
It's
mean,
pretty.
It looks like a circus thing. Like this cover
It
is
is
giving me
supposed to
so
be.
much more. Like it looks like the circus with the knife thrower and stuff. And I'm like, I thought this was like a witch hunter witch book, but
It is.
It is, but there is a circus.
too.
But there's
There
a
is a
circus.
There's a circus?
Yeah, this is what it looks
Oh, that's
like. Look.
exciting.
They said it was for fans of Caraval.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, then
Sorry,
I'm
I
even
can go
more
buy that.
intrigued.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Well-
this is the book that I got confused, Laura, when I told you that Sanctuary of Shadows I thought was witchy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was confusing it with this book.
Oh, okay.
So, because I thought there was a circus in that. Well, there is a circus in that one, but it's not witches.
Is that the new Red Tower one that's getting bad reviews?
Yeah.
Is it getting
I
bad
listened to-
reviews?
Yeah.
It has under a 3-star on Goodreads.
I haven't
Oh,
heard good
no.
things.
Oh, I thought you would
I'm
have known
reading
that.
it next month.
No, it's like I have to look this up. I was looking at it because of course, I'm a sucker for a pretty book. But I was like, no, stop.
Yeah, I bought it based on the cover and the edges, and then I haven't read any reviews. I just saw that it had a below 3-star review.
What's it called again?
Sanctuary of Shadows.
Yeah, I tried
I
it from the
bought that book.
library.
I bought that
But
book.
I couldn't
You
get
did?
it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty book. I bought it.
Yeah.
Maybe we need
Maybe.
to read it, the people who bought it, and
It's
then
got a
just have, like, a wish list
2.94
about
on
it.
Goodreads. 2.94.
That's
Oh.
bad.
That
That's
is
bad.
bad.
See,
Yeah,
here
I've been from the library and DNF'd it. I just
But I've heard that it's smutty, and there's shadow daddies in it.
go for some
Wow.
So
shadow.
maybe you'll love
I
it.
don't know. Anywho, hi, I'm Becky
Back to the intros.
from Bex Reads. I actually will be reading this book too. Look at me, the first time I'm actually starting
Go,
to
Becky.
a book
This way. This
on
way.
script.
Go, Becky.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Crystal, for hosting this chaoticness.
By the way, Crystal, this is your trial one if you're allowed in the Coven. Like, just so you know.
Okay. Okay.
Surprise!
Because this is what happened to me, and then I was accepted.
Yes, this is what happened. And then we just sucked her in. And now
Well, I
Yeah,
actually
come
invited
here,
her because I
Vicky.
thought this was a book by an author she had already read, and it wasn't.
It's not.
But she was like, sure, I'd love to. I'm like, okay.
This is what she does. She tricks you. She thinks that I thought you read. No, she probably knew she did not read it. She tricks you, sucks you in. This is what this bitch does, and we love her for it. And then she makes us pick the fucking books because shitty books that made Jackie buy the whole series, and now they're just sitting on my shelf.
I can't believe that you bought that whole series.
I know.
Oh,
It's still sitting there. Like I'm looking at it right now. I'm just like, fuck you, books.
Will you be reading this book, Crystal?
Well, I am 93% through the arc of the Homewrecker by Sarah Cates. So I was thinking of starting Greybriar. I think that's the name of this one. So I don't know. I'm just stuck in a weird, I don't want to call it beginning of a premonition of a slump because I'll be traveling in a couple weeks or so for work. So I'm like, I don't want to start something that's going to be really good and not be able to read it. But yeah, I think I might read Greybriar. I think after I finish up the arc for tonight because I'm not reading anything else really besides that. But yeah,
Here's hoping it's good.
Yeah, it's my first pick, so if everybody hates it, I'll be sad.
Hey,
But it was a
I
shot in the
know
dark.
feeling. Everybody hated mine.
hey, the blurb
We can't all pick winners, okay?
Yeah. I just went based on vibes. I haven't heard anything about this book. I bought it at Stuff Your Kindle Day. It was like free for Stuff Your Kindle Day, and I'm like, this looks interesting.
Oh,
Nice.
by the way, I want you all to know I did finish the middle grade book, and I liked it. I gave it 3 stars, and I'm gonna
I'm
be
really
the
glad that-
So there you go.
It
I
was
like-
really good. It was really
It was
cute.
I like the little shield. I like the shield. I was like, that was dope. I liked it. It's cute.
Does somebody have an ice cream truck? That's what it sounds like.
Yes, it's my drug dealing ice cream man, okay?
Is that what it is? I like somebody's got an ice cream truck going, like in
It's
the
so
middle
loud.
in the middle of March.
Drug dealing ice cream truck.
Oh goodness.
I love it.
Wait, is it 8 o'clock your time, Becky?
Yeah.
That's
Well-
a late ice cream truck.
Yeah,
It's 8:12 my
it
time.
seems a little bit suspicious to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
7
just-
here.
When
8
he comes around when
in
it's
March.
20 degrees outside at 9 o'clock
Mhm.
at night on a Wednesday, he's done
Do you
that.
do you ever buy the ice cream?
No.
We need like an
Leave my
investigation.
It's not ice cream.
We need like a full-on investigation.
Yeah, you can like call the cops.
He
and
probably
see what
does have
happens.
ice cream just in case somebody wants it, but
Yeah.
I have my suspicions that it's not fully an ice cream truck.
Oh, it's really
I never
cool.
seen that.
So we started watching the show, me and my daughter, The Foods That Built America. And it's
Oh, I
about
love
like
that show.
Hershey, Coca-Cola, Kellogg. She just now realized that Coca-Cola used to be made with cocaine. And I was like, yeah, the 80s were
Same.
fucking lit, dude. Like, these were lit. That's when they stopped doing it. She's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. Are you kidding me?
The things you learn.
The more you know. Do.
I was like, yep, drinking Coke. Literally. And the guy who invented it had a meth addiction because he wanted a better way of taking it.
Oh my god. See, I didn't know
Oh,
all
wow.
that history.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Is
That's
it on
actually
the
how it
History
happened. I was
Channel?
like, yeah, the History Channel. Yeah. Yeah. She found it. She's not a big history person, but she thought it was interesting because it was all like brands that like we know, like Hershey, Post, Kellogg, Heinz, Coke. And those are the ones we've covered so far. So yeah, but it was kind of it's interesting. But I was like, yeah. She thought it was marijuana. She's like, it's a well-known drug. It's marijuana. I'm like, no, it is cocaine. Cocaine. People enjoyed their Coke back then.
Anywho, should we start some reading spreads?
Crystal's gonna unlist this video from her channel. She'll be like, take that down.
Not
Why
child
did-
appropriate when Jackie's on
Why did I agree to be this part of this book club?
because you love us.
This
That's
Becky
why-
yes doesn't mean you have to say yes.
Yes, you have to say yes.
Add the thing to the stage, I guess. Let me see if that works.
All right.
Does that work?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
it's
see
on the
it.
screen.
Let's see if it starts.
And apparently, I don't have presentation mode on mine,
Oh, weird.
which is interesting.
Maybe.
Well, oh, there we
Yep.
go.
It's
Yeah,
where it goes.
awesome.
All right.
All right. See
It's
y'all in
off.
30 minutes.
All right, see ya.
Hello.
Hello,
Aw.
Hello.
Cassidy. I posted the sprints on my Instagram, and Cassidy messaged me and told me I put the wrong link, so I fixed it.
No.
I put like our sprints from 2 months ago. I'm like, oh, fail. Good call, thanks.
Well, I mean, somebody could go back and watch that if they want.
Yeah.
It's on your channel, Becky, so get the views. Like the 2 people that would click.
I doubt anybody was watching.
Cassidy clicked on it, so there you
Oh.
go. Hi, Tara.
So I gotta say,
Not a fan?
Oh no.
it took 12 pages for an ounce of dialogue to show up.
I'm okay with that.
What book is that? Gravebriar.
No, I said I'm okay with that.
Oh.
I happen to like it right now. I am digging it. Like
Okay.
I love the whole. I get the whole like Gone with the Wind, Southern Terra vibes, throwing a party. You know, there's the different covens. They all have their own little planned houses. And
Very
shit.
descriptive. I'll give it
Yes,
that.
I
Very
am liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Although I
Good.
do get the vibe of Coven from American Horror Story with kind of like the power layout and so far. And I'm just kind of like, so she doesn't have powers, but she does have powers. Like she can make a dress. Like
Yeah.
that's cool. And her mom wants her to get married. I'm thinking like there's gonna be something going on. But I like it so far. I'm sitting here, I'm like, this is pretty fucking dope.
I love the different opinions.
Yes.
Good for a discussion later on.
Yeah. I'm liking the different covens right now. Like I'm getting a southern Gone with the Wind sort of vibe. That's what I'm feeling, and I'm down. I am
Good.
so down for it for sure. Yeah.
I like the magic, like the way she described like how each coven has
Mhm.
and how they do their magic. I liked that, but I'm just like, can I get some dialogue? And then the first thing of dialogue, she's talking to a frog.
That's so funny. My book, she's got a sentient spider plant. That's the only person she's talking to so far. So it's a theme.
There you go.
But I like it. My book's cute. I just like
You
Sarah
like it?
Baxter's writing. Yeah.
What are you reading again?
The Spell Shop.
Oh, that's right. I
She's
was like,
like,
why does a sentient plant sound familiar to me?
yeah. She's like a librarian in the capital city, and there's a revolution, and so she's saving all of the books that she wants to save, and she's running away back to her hometown, and she has a sentient. So the only person she talks to or thing she talks to is this plant, and she reads all the time. So here we are.
That sounds like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's about to meet a love interest. So we'll see.
How's your book, Crystal?
It's okay.
Oh no.
That sounds so sad.
I
It's okay.
I think it's weird. I think I'm in the stage of my reading taste that I just don't think that's my vibe anymore, or at least the way that this author does. It's like it's just not my thing anymore. I think I'm starting to realize because this has happened the past couple of books. So I'm like,
What's the
just
thing?
just pure smut kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
no real
Yeah.
motion, just wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
It just feels the emotion feels very manufactured in a way that it's not a good foundation. Like where it's like an erotic romance, like I can handle those, but yeah, I don't think it's my thing anymore.
Oh.
But you're almost
Through
done.
waves,
Like you said, right?
through waves. That's
Yeah.
completely fine. I mean, you can only handle so much. Like don't get me wrong. Like I can read dark, triggery shit, but after a while, I'm like, I'm fucking done with this toxic bullshit. I want something sweet
Yeah.
and nice.
We go through
I get
phases.
it. I get it.
Yeah,
Who's the author of that?
it's Sarah Kate's new arc.
Oh, okay.
And everybody else is like crying at certain I can see why they would cry at that point, but I'm like, for me, I was like, nothing. I'm like, I just have a black soul apparently, because I'm like, I don't have. I'm like, I just for me, I'm like, it just didn't feel connected. So I'm like, it just felt like it wasn't drawn out to where I want it to be drawn out.
It could also be you're
There's
not just
no
ready for the book
continuity.
yet. I
That
mean,
might be it too as well. But
I mean,
yeah.
I'm a firm believer that you get books, like you can read a book and hate it, and then like 6 months down the road, a year down the road, you could love the book because you're in a different place, a different mindset, what you've read around it. Like books are like movies and like people. If you don't get them at the right time, it can really sour the experience. It can also do the adverse and make it fan fucking tastic, and then you read it again, you're
Oh.
what the hell was I smoking? Like, you know, like with me with Wuthering Heights, I fucking loved that book in high school. I read it again a couple of years ago. I'm like, fucking Heathcliff's a dick. Fuck this guy. You know, like
Yeah.
it's just when it hits you in like the mindset. So it's like that's why like DNFing, when we talk about DNFing, like it's so hard for me to do, because it's like, am I DNFing it because of where I'm at right now, or is it because this book is really that bad? You know,
You should DNF and then come back to it.
yeah. See, but then is that a true DNF? Because a DNF to me is do not finish. Like I'm not finishing this just because I put it down and don't come back to it for years. I finished it.
Nope.
We just lost the host.
She's like, I'm done. I'm done with your bullshit. Right? Oh.
No, but like I totally get that. I get that 100%. I DNF my first book this year, and it killed me to do it, but it was just not the right book at the time for me. It just
Your
wasn't.
first DNF ever?
No, of this year.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah, last year I only DNF'd 2 books, and this year I've DNF'd 1 book so far.
I DNF'd 62 books last year.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
a
some
firm
like, I don't
believer in
even track
DNF
them.
that thing and never look at it again.
See, like I
I'm like,
can't
if I
because
was
I'm like,
showing that I DNF
I've had so many
on
experiences.
Instagram,
What was that,
like
Crystal?
if I DNF on if you see me DNF on Instagram, that's because I actually made it to what I say my required time of like 15% is a good estimate for me to know, 10 or 15 to know if I'm actually going to read this book. But there's lots of books that I don't even show that I DNF because I'm like, I just can't even get within the first chapter.
Okay, so you go based off percentage. See,
Mhm.
like, okay, if you're reading an 850 plus page book, 10% of that is only like 80 pages. Do you really have a good concept of the book at that point in time?
Yes.
Really?
I think so.
See, I don't think that way. Like, I'm like, you got to read to like 85%. You got to get past the halfway mark.
Oh, hell
gotta
no.
get past
You
the
want
like,
me to
I
read
used to be like that
400 pages?
too.
You're like, fuck that, Jackie. You're insane.
I used to be like that too, but I'm like, then I was just like absolutely hating the book, and like, and I've come to realize my rating never changed. Like, I'm
Really?
like, oh, this would be like a 2 or a 1 star. I'm like, it never changed. I usually just do 1 stars as DNFs to where I'm like, I actually like viscerally hate this book on DNFing. Like, it was viscerally just bad. But that's usually very rare occurrence. Because now I'm just like, I'm not gonna waste. I read slower than a lot of people, so I'm like, I don't have the time to waste to suffer through books.
And you're reading it slower because you're not liking it. So
Yeah,
you're okay.
even more than that. So
Mhm.
me reading at most 8. I usually used to read like 10 to 12 books a month. For me, that was a lot. And now I'm barely making it at 8 books a month. So if I'm only making it to 6 books, I'm like, I have to be more. I want to be enjoying the books I'm reading and being more choosy on the books that I'm picking up.
I approve that message.
Or what is Sean
I,
playing?
I can't, like, I've had so many
Huh?
experiences with
Oh,
me.
he's playing. What is that? Final Fantasy. What? 7. Final
I
Fantasy
like how you
7.
slowly move the camera away from
I
his
know.
thing.
I've had so many experiences where I've gotten
I
like I've
moved
hated
the
the book in
camera.
the beginning, and then I've gotten to the end and it's completely turned around for me. So it's like if I would have
Mhm.
DNF'd at 10%, 15%, I would have lost it. And there are some books like it, especially fantasy books. Fantasies are the worst for me with this. And
Yeah.
chunkers, like there are books that you have to give the time. This author wrote 850 plus pages. You got to give it the time to really get into it for me. And I'm just like, Yeah, Becky's like, you're fucking insane.
I totally get that. That's what I will do too. But if I can't even get through the writing style, it just depends on the author. So where I'm like, okay, world building, like fantasy, I give a little more leeway because like the world building takes a little more time. But I'm like, if even just the way that their writing style is, I'm like, I can't suffer through 850 pages of this. So I'm like, I'm not connecting with the author and their writing style and the way they're telling the story at all. But there's been points where I'm like, once I made it past the 50%, like Guild, for instance, if I make it like a 3 or 4 star for that first book in a series, I'm like, it's enough to carry on. And then I'm like, okay. And then I find out this book 2 is like, it just jumps right off and everything is great, the whole series and the whole thing. So for me, it has to be the writing style. I'm like, if I'm not connecting with it, then if I am connecting with it, at least the style, then I'll be able to invest the time to continue on to give the author more of a chance.
Okay, I have a question because this happened to me recently. Have you ever, I didn't DNF the book, but have you ever wanted to DNF a book because it should have been over way before? Like you read the book and you're like, oh, I really like this book. And then it just never seems to fucking end. Like the author is giving you like multiple times where it's like, this should have been over last chapter. Okay, carry it on. It should have been over again last chapter. This should be a whole other fucking book. Have you ever stopped a book because you wanted to fucking end because it should have ended already?
No, I usually, if it gets to that point, I just thumb through to the last
By the time you're that far
I
in,
skim until I get to the part where it's sort of, and then I'm like, okay, now I can continue reading.
This is why I don't read like big chunky books very often, because I feel like
no, this was a short book. This was a Ruby Dixon book, and I'm like, you had this all nicely wrapped up at like page 80, and I still have 100 pages left. What the fuck you doing, lady? Because they're together. They're fucking together. Nothing else is happening. And nothing did.
Then you just skim read.
And I was like, what the fuck was the rest of this 100 pages for? Like, seriously, what was the point of it?
Oh, this one has like another epilogue. I'm like, I thought it was like, oh no, I think there's gonna be 3 epilogues.
No.
3 epilogues? Like, no, I can't do that.
No, multiple epilogues.
It's a poly romance, so like I think that's why.
Oh,
I'm like,
person. Yeah.
Like, yeah, Tara, I'm reading the home wrecker. Yeah. Oh, Tara, yeah, I'm reading The Homewrecker by Sarah Kate the Ark for that.
How's your book, Laura? How's your book going?
Yeah,
I mean, don't tell us too much because we want to read it.
Yeah, we have to read this.
I'm not going to say anything, but like,
I have the arc for that one too, but I'm like, well, I guess I'll put it off till June. But now Laura's.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I wonder if I can still request it from NetGalley.
That's where I got it from NetGalley.
I mean, had I known it was going to be a book club pick, I would have requested it.
What's the synopsis for that one again? I forget.
She, so we're following Marigold, and she finds out that she's a witch when her grandmother comes to tell her, like her mother had kept that from her whole life. And she goes to this little island, the island of Innisfree, to learn how to be a honey witch with her grandmother, and things happen. It's just so sweet. It's like so cottagecore and springtime. It's like the perfect book to read for spring and summer.
That's how I feel about the spell shops. I feel like you're gonna like it because it's like she just went back to her family's cottage on a remote island. So I feel like it's like your vibe right now.
And I like Sarah Beth's writing a lot.
So do I. She's amazing. And the
Was
first
there
printing
an audio arc of that, the Honey Witch? Or was it just
I think I saw one at one point. But I'm in Canada. Could be different. Canada.
Don't ask why I did that. I don't know why.
I don't see a lot of green happening.
I'm wearing all green.
It's St. Patrick's Day.
I'm wearing green right here.
Oh, that's right. It is.
Like, look at this. I got a green shirt.
That looks. Oh, there's
a green shirt on.
It's reading black on camera, Becky.
Okay.
I have
can-
green eyeshadow on.
Oh, do you actually?
I have green eyes.
I've caused Jackie to strip.
I have green eyes. Does that count?
There you go. Permanently have green. What does it say?
Let the
Let the
shenanigans begin.
I had these on earlier, but I took them off because they started to
Nice.
bug me. But
I had a whole bunch of jewelry on, but I took it off because I was like, I ain't
now
really
I'm holding it.
on.
Because it's like, okay, so crazy. Jackie here is crazy because it was really nice today, but it was nice if the wind wasn't going. And I
Same
sat
here.
outside on my deck and read for an hour and like 20 minutes in 45-degree weather with wind.
No, thank you.
My
I hate that.
hands
I just want to be outside.
like got frostbite or something. I was like,
Or Kristen still got snow.
Yeah, it's snowing
Oh,
again today. It's been snowing all
that
weekend.
sucks.
It's been snowing all weekend. I've been so mad.
That
I just wanna
sucks
sit
so bad.
outside. I need some vitamin D. Look up at pasty. Give me some vitamin D.
I need it because we are going to St. Croix in July, and this bitch burns. So I have to go outside in the
Yeah.
sun to get the pre-tan, so I don't die a crispy death.
My crispy death.
We have a top deck here, and so I'll go and lay up on our top deck in my bikini when it's
Yeah,
like
I'm
50
not a size,
degrees
like,
because
two.
it's so hot up there. If it gets past like 60 degrees,
Mhm.
but like 50 to 60, it's just right.
Yeah, I'm not a size 2. I will probably not be wearing a bikini.
I
And
just
you
say,
know, if my
Right.
neighbors
I
see
remember
me
the
in my
last time I rocked
bikini,
a bikini.
that's
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing an arc of this honey.
Although there's this site that you get to, okay, you can't really see it right now because of my lighting, but many of you know I have red hair. Okay. So
Mhm.
there's this attraction that they give you like a mermaid fin and they attach like a motorized thing to your snorkel and it pulls you along. So I could be Ariel for 2 fucking hours.
There you go.
Wow.
Fun.
Life's mission complete. I'm like down. That will
Are
so
you
be
a-
amazing. I'd be like, I'll be
Are
here.
you
I'll be here.
Irish, Jackie, with your red hair?
Yep.
You are.
Oh yeah, I'm Irish. Yeah,
This is like
I'm
your
third
day.
generation Irish. My great grandfather came directly over on the boat.
Nice.
Well, top of the morning to you.
Yeah, and my great grandmother came from
I
Russia.
have Irish. I have some Irish blood, but not a ton.
Well, actually, it's
I
really
was-
funny. 'Cause
I
my
was
great grandfather
Little bit.
moved to Canada and met my great grandmother, who's from Russia, in Canada, and they migrated to the States when they had their kids.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So, and I've actually got family in Canada. My
Hmm.
Auntie Duh, and that is actually her name. We call her Auntie Duh.
I probably know
died
her.
in
You know,
water.
us Canadians, we know everybody. We all know each other.
It was really cool.
Can't find
but
this
yeah.
freaking book anymore.
No,
Oh,
I'm
goodness.
English, Irish, and Russian. Those are my 3. And then I've got some Swedish in there. So I got all the wasps. I got them all, and I can't drink for shit. So go figure.
Yeah, a lot of my mom's side of the family, they're Irish, and they can't hold their drinks very well. They like to drink, but on the messy side.
And then the Kennedys are Scottish. We're the Scottish version of Kennedys. So yeah. And then I married an Italian because his mom's Italian.
I'm half Italian. I feel like
I'm-
Irish and Italian people often get together.
Yes.
I'm German.
I'm like a UN.
Huh?
I'm a human.
Who's human?
No, I'm like a UN. Like I'm like
Oh,
the
you are.
United
I
Nations?
line up like the United Nations.
I'm a
Yeah,
human.
I was born in Hawaii, so I have like Portuguese and
No shit.
Spanish
That's awesome.
and Puerto Rican. Yeah, and Puerto Rican. And then on my dad's side, he's white, so we got English, German, and Scottish, and all of the that stuff.
All right,
Changes
Laura.
colors.
We all talk. What's yours?
We all spoke.
Jamaican, Cuban.
Ooh.
Nice.
We my husband's cousin's wife, her parents are actually from Jamaica, and they make the best jerk chicken. Holy shit. Like, this stuff is fire. I don't do spice, but oh
I don't do spice.
god, it's so fucking good. He's got the thick accent and everything. They were missionaries, and that's how they met. And yeah, it was really, really cool. Like, when he comes in, he's like, he has that thick Jamaican accent. I'm just like, this is so cool. Can you just keep talking, please? Keep talking. And then my daughter's best friend is her family is actually from South Africa. They're French South Africans, and I fucking love this girl. She's like part of my family. Like she's my other daughter. But their family, like their food is just we went to a birthday party and they were popping champagne at an 8-year-old's birthday party. I was like, what?
Yeah.
All right. Y'all know how to party. This is awesome. I love it.
Do you have family in Jamaica, Laura, still?
Yes.
That's cool.
Have you ever
No,
got to
my
go
mom's
to Jamaica?
family.
Have you ever gotten to go to
I've never
You
been.
haven't?
I really want to go, but no, I've never been.
You and Sean, you got to plan a trip.
Yep,
Yeah.
Jamaica. I don't know. I don't know what dance I'm doing.
Becky's still
I've
looking
never
for
actually
the
left the US.
I'm still trying to find this freaking arc.
honeymoon.
I'm on like page 25 of NetGalley. I still ain't found it.
Oh man.
You know you can just type in the honey witch in the search, right?
Oh, I
Yeah,
can't.
can you type
Oh
it?
my god.
You're not doing that?
No. Where is the search at?
Go to find title.
Find title.
There's a
Yeah,
little
you're not using a book.
Holy
You're not-
shit, there's
little-
There's
you
a,
see that little magnifying glass?
holy crap.
I just
know
blew your mind. I just blew your mind.
Hello, young
That
Great.
is funny.
It's not even there.
It's not there anymore. I just checked for you.
You could have
Yeah, 'cause
saved
I got
me.
that I got that a while ago.
You could have saved me all that time.
I just figured you knew that was.
No, I was like going through every single freaking page to try and find it. Lord have
Oh my
mercy.
god.
Where's my stupid share screen at? Is that it?
Put my hoodie back on. It was cold.
Yeah.
All right. We
My
ready
house
for
is
another,
like 50 degrees.
we ready for another 30-minute sprint?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. See y'all in 30. We're back. Crystal, did your book get any better?
Say what now?
Did your book get any better?
No, I was already at the epilogue, so it wasn't 3 epilogues. It was only 2.
Gotcha.
Final rating.
Well,
Yeah.
hello.
I just started Gravebriar, so I'm only a few pages into that. But
I made it to chapter 4.
Me too.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I was doing that, and then I was, doing all my. I just uploaded a video for April and was doing all my stuff.
Of course you did. For April.
Yeah. You're like, I'm still backtracking from March.
Yeah, we're still waiting for those weekly reads over here from Jackie.
Yeah, you're still waiting on 4 of them. I have 4 to do.
Girl, get those done.
No shit. They're not very long, so I might just be like, this is a short one.
I just asked people for to join a collab with me like 2 days ago, and I was already like, so I got this edited and uploaded.
That's what you always do. I'm like, huh? I haven't even thought about it.
Yeah.
I didn't get a DM about a collab. How insulting.
Well, that's because I did it with people I've never collabed with before, so.
Oh yeah, that's the one where I said we've never collabed. What do you mean?
Yeah. And it was like, you know what? I had a day where I was batch filming, and so I got them all filmed. So, yeah, that's what I got accomplished that sprint.
I'm severely slacking on the video content lately. Been a busy gal.
Happens.
It's a difficult thing.
My light broke.
Yeah, I don't know.
My light broke. I have to get a new one.
Are you
How'd
liking
you
the
do,
book,
Laura?
Jackie?
Hmm?
Are you still liking the book?
Yeah, I'm really liking it. So we found out like what her power is. You find out by chapter 4. And it's kind of cool, but okay, Becky, I'm gonna ask you because they're not reading this. Do you think she did it without realizing that she did it?
Yeah.
I think she did too. I think when
she
they
has
were,
a clue.
yeah, I think when they went to the garden and she like said, "Oh, that's a good idea," and they did that one action. I think it's kind of one of those things. You remember that? You know the moment I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's when she did it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think she had any idea what she was doing because it seems like she doesn't have any idea like what her powers even are.
No, like she knows that it's not normal for her brand of witch, but it kind of is. It's just seems like it's on the dark side of her brand of witch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like it. I was definitely like in it. I was like, okay, all right. I'm
as long as one of you likes it. I will take that as a win. Let's be honest. If one of us likes it,
because it feels like it's YA.
It's YA.
Yeah,
I'm not even nervous because it's YA.
Yeah, okay, it is YA. So I should just get used to the angst that I feel like is going to be happening here real soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like angst. That's probably why I liked YA fantasy for the longest time before I started reading adult fantasy.
I like it. I really like it. Like I'm excited. I feel like remember when we read not Once in Future Wishes. What was it? One for My Enemy.
Mm-hmm.
I had that same feeling at that early of the stage of the book as I do with this one, and I really liked that one. It was one of my best reads last year. So
this is surprising to hear, Jackie.
I know.
I'm so proud of myself right now for this. Watch me come back.
I'm like, it's a struggle bus for me to get it. Like last sprint, I got to chapter 3, and this sprint, I got to chapter 4, and it was just like it was a struggle. It was a struggle.
No, I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far. I like it. Feeling good. Although we're starting to get in the thick of it, so they start doing stupid shit and be like, and now you're doing stupid shit.
You never know.
Yeah.
I can see where you're talking about the southern vibes. I was getting that a little bit. I don't
Yes,
have an
right? Like I feel like this is like southern. Like I'm also. Did you any of you guys read Beautiful Creatures?
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
hated that book, but I loved the movie.
I love the movie. I did not read the book, but I love the movie.
I
But
read
that's
only
kind of the vibe I'm getting. And I mean, her name's Castor on top of it too.
Oh, I
which-
know, right?
Yeah,
Castor.
the
and
names
there's
are
an
not
Ar-
really
Is his
original.
name Arbor or Arder?
Arbor.
Arbor.
Yeah, like we have four
Their town is called Cauldron.
children. Yeah.
Don't be a hater, Becky.
Yeah, their names are not really original. I'm not gonna give, high marks on fucking names, but it's cool. Castor's still a cool badass name. And the other guy's name is Forge, which sure, Forge. Not the first person I met with the name Forge, by the way. I actually personally in real life know somebody named
Okay,
Forge.
but their costumes, I'm not gonna lie.
Sound dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
All these different
I want
wings.
these outfits, not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
Like
I'm definitely
wings
picturing
made out
her-
of knives and tarot cards.
Yeah. And like candle
Yeah.
wax and blood
Mhm.
and crystals and
Yeah.
moth wings. Was like, fuck yeah.
And that
It's
was
sounding
really
very
like,
witchy. It does.
It
sound
does.
Like a very
Her
witchy.
outfit really reminds me of, okay, did anybody see Thumbelina?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
long
it's-
time ago.
okay. So
Yeah.
when she's about to marry
Long
the
time
beetle-
ago.
Yeah, I love that movie.
That's
Okay.
our childhood.
When I was a kid. So remember when she's about to marry the Beetle King?
no.
Mhm.
And she has
I'll have
those
to
big
Google it.
wings. Like he gives her fake wings, they're beetle wings. Like when she was creating her outfit, that's what it reminded me of immediately without the stupid Elizabethan dress, like kind of very like slutty moss green dress, but had the wings. I was like envisioning that
Body moss screen.
at like Terra in Gone with the Wind with all these fucking tables, like the thick, swampy air, like southern feel, like
Their
grandiose
tuxedos
ballrooms.
are made of bark.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was like that.
So like some of it's not
Yes,
too
like
bad.
that. See,
I do
without
remember
dress,
that.
though, with those wings,
Now that
for
I see
sure,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of homage vibes from this book, which I like. I like when it reminds me of other things, but it doesn't like rip them off.
Yeah,
I
it
like
sounds
when books do that. And then so far she's done it 3 times. 3.
Like the vibes.
Yeah. I'm definitely liking it. But I don't know how the circus comes involved because I still haven't seen any circus themes. But knife throwing,
Knife throwing.
we're going with it. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
having a good time with it. I like it.
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Becky won't be
I'm
getting
doing my
into
little
this
dance over
line.
here.
She's gonna be at a Polycon. I don't think Becky's gonna be waiting in the line.
No. No. No, I won't.
Sad.
I can already tell this isn't gonna be like a 5-star read for me.
I don't know if it'll be a
Mhm.
5-star because it's still too early. It's still too early on. But I like the world, right? For sure, love the world right now. I like the
Mhm.
description of it for sure.
Good.
I feel like for me, like every book always automatically starts at a 3-star, and it just depends on how it goes, where it like starts leaning.
Do
I
you
have-
have that mindset when you read where everything starts at a 3-star?
For me, that's just in general when I'm like, okay,
Because I
the
never
3-star.
think about
Because, like,
that.
because I
I
don't
s-
like obviously for me to continue on when I think about if I'm gonna DNF a book, I'm like, do I want to DNF? If I'm not enjoying it, is why am I not liking the book? And then because I rather read books that are 3-star and up. No one wants to not like a book.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I've heard someone say that like they always start at 3-star, and ever since then that has kind of stuck in my head of like, okay, I see how they think about that.
I've never thought
Right.
about that.
I know I have certain authors that they start as a 3. So for them to remain as a 3 is not a good idea because that's what they started as, and I know what they're capable of. So
Mhm.
like I have like Scarlett St. Clair, she walks in as a 3. Sarah J. Maas walks in as a 3. So if I read their book, they're automatically a 3 right then and there just because of the caliber of what I know they're capable of. So 3 is the bottom barrel for me for them. But it's still gonna be better than any other book that I read because I like the way that author writes and their storytelling. And like when I've gotten kind of like an MO, but like new people, I don't really know if they start off as anything. I just kind of get a feel, you know, emotional feel.
I guess I go into it thinking, okay, I'm gonna love this book. So I think for me, it like starts at like a 5.
That's how I feel too.
And the longer I
Starts
read
at a 5 and
it,
it goes.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's some that like I instantly get a like 5-star feeling, like oh, I love this, and like I just keep on reading it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a slower reader, it's kind of hard for me to know when it's me. So I have to figure out, okay, is it just because it's me, or is it really the book? So that's usually where I gotta give myself time to make pace for the author to do their thing. So
I've had that feeling a lot lately. Is it me or is it this book? And then I finally just realize it's the book. I'm like,
Never you.
it's never me. It's these
It's
books.
always the
These
book.
books can't capture my attention. That's the problem. It's not me.
Me too.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's like books out there like there's books that like have all the elements that I like. It has, you know, historical setting, it has great detail, like it could have all the pieces and it still sucks. Like it's so hard to like judge. Like I don't like judging off of synopses. So like when I do like book hauls, I'm kind of like, I'm really excited about this book. I am really excited about this book. I bought this fucking book. But truth be told, I know fuck all about this book except what the dust jacket said. And let's be honest, I don't read a lot of dust jackets. I don't.
Yeah.
I gotta go
Neither
off
do
the covers. Like I'm a cover whore, dude. Straight up.
Yeah.
Yep.
You give me a pretty cover, I will buy that thing. And if it sucks, it'll still sit on my shelf because it's pretty.
A book has to give me a vibe. Like I have
Yeah,
to get a
the vibe
vibe from
thing.
it. Yeah.
So very witchy of you.
Yeah, Laura just gets the feel.
But like you
Get
walk
the
to the
feel. She's like,
bookstore.
this book feels.
Yes.
Yeah,
A
like you
little,
walk
a
to a
little spidey
bookstore,
sense going.
like Emily, what's her face? What's her Emily Henry, I think is what it is.
Oh, I was
Mhm.
thinking Emily
Okay.
Wilde.
Me too.
No, so I love the way her books look. Like they just make me happy to look at. They're so bright and colorful. But like I want to read them. I do want to read them. But every time I walk by, I'm like, am I gonna actually read this? Probably not. But when I think about it, I want to read them. It's just that vibe. And then I'll go pick up a book from an author I've never heard of, know fuck all about, but it just gave me the right feel. That cover was the right, and like it was just the right time for it and stuff. And I found some gold mines like that.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it just feels right, but then it doesn't feel right. And
I've had the opposite where I'm like, oh, this cover is so appealing. And then I'll read it and I'm like, ugh.
but like the
I'm
cover
like,
was
you did
appealing,
me
but, like,
dirty.
I think you're a harsh
when-
critic, Becky.
but when you held the book, did it give you like a good feeling about it, or was it just a pretty cover? Like that's what we're talking about, like the feeling. It's like, yes, the cover's really pretty, but
I don't
it still
know, I guess
felt
I
like
don't
it was
have
the
the
right time to
feeling.
grab it, you know?
Becky doesn't have that witchy.
I don't
that
have
witchy
the
other-
feeling.
Yeah.
Other than this book feels good.
Yeah.
I don't have like,
Like, have you ever, like, Laura, have you ever picked up a book and like you're in a bookstore or you're online and you find a book and you're just like, I need this book in my life, but
Yep.
there's absolutely nothing about the synopsis that triggers you at all. It's just, you need this book.
Yep.
You ever have
No.
that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I had that with
that's me. Like, I have to have it.
Yeah. That's how I was with The Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. I like saw the cover and I was like, I'm gonna love that book. Like I just had a feeling. And I read it and I absolutely loved it. So
well, I always think that. I'm always like, I'm gonna love this book. And some of them just don't pan out.
Some.
Some,
It's
yeah.
a hit or miss, yeah. I had to say, like, in high school, like, because I was mainly reading, like, historical romances, and I would go and read the back of it. I'm like, if you ever read the synopsis of those can be, like, the cheesiest things ever. And so usually a lot of it is like, oh, it has this kind of, like, premise. So you're like, okay. And then you just read a couple of chapters and like, okay, I think I'm vibing with this. So, and like, of course, the covers were good as well. But like today, now it's just like, oh, I recognize that author. I like their writing, or I like that cover or that step back. And then in fantasy, it's very similar. I'm like, okay, with the cover, I'm like, okay, because the tropes don't really matter as much, but it's like, does it sound like something would be fun to read? But yeah, I have to say the cover always in that vibe that you get from it. So
Yeah.
you're like, ooh, that looks like something I would like, just from the whole aesthetic and everything from it.
Yeah.
I'm a trope person.
Yeah, you fall for all those trope graphics.
Yeah, I do. I'm like, ooh, I like that trope. Ooh, I like that trope. And that's usually what sucks me in, that and the cover.
Mm.
Because then I'll read
I
the
like-
synopsis, and 2 seconds later I'll forget what the hell the synopsis was.
Yeah.
But I'll remember, aha, I like that trope and I like that cover.
I say I do like Second Chance. I always like. Everyone says they don't like the or it's just overdone, but like a girl or woman discovering their powers. They're hidden. They're like the chosen one kind of a thing. But
I feel like
know
it's the chosen one.
Yeah, like I like that kind of trope, and like it's a very common one. Like it's nice because I think there's a reason for that. Just because as women, the comedy that we have in real life going into fantasy, what we want to read more about, more strong heroines and that kind of scenario. But that's usually like a Give Me Second Chance. I love that. Enemies to Lovers is always good. Just are in general other ones. I like discovering tropes without it being listed and discovering that trope. Because then sometimes what happens is you just get overwhelmed with all of the trope, like marketing by tropes. And it kind of like, okay, but I want to know what the story is, what's the premise, and the possibilities of going off from that. So sometimes, like, if it's really trope heavy, I'm like, it's way too overwhelming for my brain. I'm like, I like discovering those tropes as I'm reading it. So, like the Aquamath, like, I didn't know that it was like a one bed trope on, Sarah J. Maas, but it was like so cool to discover that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I find I like those when sometimes I just pick up a book, I know nothing about it, and I'm like, oh, this has a trope I like in it. But other times I specifically seek them out.
Yeah, like
And even
Second
then-
Chance, I would like in historical romance or something like that. Like I will seek that one out. I love that trope. But
I don't feel like there's any tropes that I like actually seek out. I'm sure that there are. I'm sure I have like my own kind of patterns, but I don't knowingly know what they are. Does that make sense? Like,
I think I'm the same way.
yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure that there are stuff like Small Town. I love my Small Town series, but I don't actively seek it out. But if I find one, I'm like, oh, I like this. This sounds cool. Like feel good, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I'm also like, hey, there's some seriously fucking twisted shit in this. Sign me the fuck up. Like cannibalism. Accidental. Like, sure, whatever.
You didn't know that was a trope you liked, did you?
Well, I am a ginger, so if I drink ginger ale, is it cannibalism? Don't know.
are there any tropes that like you absolutely will like not like at all or pick up if you find out a book has it?
Yep,
Cheating.
incest.
Well,
I'm not gonna not read cheating, but I'm not going. If I know it has cheating, I'm probably going to choose something over it,
me too.
unless it's like for a book club or something. I'm not a big fan of cheating, and I don't like lying. I think lying's stupid.
Yeah, but a lot of books have lying in
Yeah,
it
a
for
lot of
some
books
reason
do.
or another.
I understand like fake dating and fake marriage or whatever. Okay, let me express this. Lying without consequences to the lie. If it's a lie that never has consequences shown to it, I don't give a fuck. That's stupid. Like, I raised my daughter to not fucking lie, even if it hurts your feelings. Don't lie to people. Just don't, because it's not going to help you at all. It's not. There is always a nice way of saying the truth without blatantly hurting somebody's feelings. Like, you can say, like, hey, you do look fat in that, without actually saying you look fat in that. There's a way to do it. Learn it. Or get friends that have thick skin. End of story. Like, it's just, I don't like lying and I don't like cheating because there are two things in my life that I don't allow and I don't tolerate.
Well, cheating kind of falls in line with lying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
It's
an
like,
extension
no.
of lying.
Now, if there's lying and there's consequences in it, then yes, I will totally agree with that book. I will deal with it because there's consequences. It's when there's no follow through on it. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. Like I need that justice element. I need that to make myself right. Because then I'm just annoyed. It's like ending on a fifth chord in music. It's wrong. Just don't fucking do it. Because it's like it's not over yet. You're like,
I have a whole shit ton of
orgasm
things
that never
I
actually
don't
reach climax.
read.
Bullshit.
I don't like incest. I don't like love triangles. I don't like cheating.
I don't mind a good love triangle if it's done right. If it's done the, you know,
It's never done right for me.
It's never done right.
Like I used to love it when I was back in like my early days of reading because I read Twilight and all those other paranormal teen books. I was like, I loved that stuff. But now I'm just like, just pick one. Just pick one and stop stringing them along. That's why I don't like why choose either. It's because I like to choose.
Okay, why choose?
I'm a decisive bitch, okay? I like to choose.
Okay, why choose a whole other ball of wax for me? Because here's my thing. Every why choose I read. Every fucking one of them. Especially reverse why chooses, okay? Reverse.
What the hell is a reverse why choose? One person?
No, it's still why choose, but it's the girl is with a group of guys instead of.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah, anyway. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
not everyone
most
together.
Of us read them. Most of us read them. So here's my thing: is every single one I've read. And I know that they're out there that are not like this, but I have not read them. This is just based off what I've read. All the males are alpha males, super dominant. They could get anybody. She's mine. I don't share, but they will share with these same three fuckers who are just
With
like
the basic girl who,
what's so special about this bitch? Maybe it's a jealousy thing. I don't fucking know. It could be jealousy. It could be. But it's still like, there's like
she's the girl who doesn't know she's pretty.
Yeah, if there's like a formula to it, you always have the main male who's really like the main guy. Then you have the one that kind of does the go-between. They're kind of like, either or, I'll pick and choose. I'm just here for a good fucking time, whatever. I'm the jokester. Then you got the moody, broody one who has a fucking terrible backstory, which becomes a fucking triangle. And all the while, there's nothing fucking special about this bitch. Not a goddamn thing. And I'm just like, this is bullshit.
Every time I've tried to read a why choose, I'm just like, how? What about this girl appeals
to me? It's a lot of mental gymnastics.
Basic as can be.
What?
It's a lot of mental gymnastics a lot of the time.
No sex scenes are written correctly, because if you make me look that shit up, oh my god, I'm pissed. It's like, you did not just make me like
when they're in college and high school, I'm just like,
get fucked on that. Yeah.
I'm like,
that's gross.
In what world? In this fantasy world, it must be fantasy, because ain't never in my life have I met somebody in high school and or college who was juggling that many men at the same time.
And that good at it.
I'm not good at it, true.
Yeah.
Who looks like a basic bitch who's like living in the library. Ain't no way.
I think the other problem is they don't have any. I have problem distinguishing the male characters because they don't actually have any distinguishing personalities, or there's not really described that well. They all kind of blend into one. It feels like sometimes.
I think it's for
there's a formula.
I've only read the Mate Games and I had fun with it, but
yeah, I heard that one's good. I haven't read that one.
The Mate Games on audio, they're fun.
Oh.
They're ridiculous, but it's a fun time.
But people tell me all the time, oh, you just gotta let it go, suspend your disbelief. And I'm like, I can't, because when I read, I literally become these characters. And I'm just thinking, I don't want to deal with more than one of you.
Yeah. Okay, but one of the guys in the Mate Games is pretty much Thor. So like I'm down.
He's pretty much what?
He's Thor, like he's like a Norse god.
Ooh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be like, I need one of you. One of you.
Okay, and here's the other thing. Okay, here's the other thing about, and it's usually not the guys I have a problem with. It's the girl. Okay.
Internalized misogyny, Jackie.
I think it's a jealousy thing because I'm like, there's nothing special about this bitch. Absolutely fucking nothing. But every single reverse harem I've read, they always think that they're like, either they're not worthy of it, or they are some super uber bad bitch, and these guys are trying to like one up, and they're always one upping her, and she doesn't fucking realize that she's stupid. It's like, these guys are playing you. You are tolerating being passed around. Okay, this is what they're doing. Like, yeah, you're owning it. Like, I can do this all I want. You're still being passed the fuck around. You're still a toy. I don't want to play with you tonight. Go play with him. It's fine. But they fight over
All
you.
I can
It's
think
okay.
about is like, that's like 4 loads of laundry I'm gonna have to do.
Oh God.
I'm hoping they could do their own
Hey,
laundry.
I'm like, because none of these
You
men
don't
are
even
gonna be
have
like, here, honey, I'll do. No, they're there for my sexual favors, and that's it. I know it. I'm like, I'm
I
gonna
will
have to
keep
do
going
4
on that,
loads of
though.
your laundry for this. I know it. And I
Every
don't
reverse
want to
harem-
do it.
Every reverse harem I've read, this lends to her thing, like how many laundries. Somehow they always end up living together. In
Right?
every reverse harem. And I'm like,
Ain't no way all
laundry-
these men are gonna be
Exactly.
cooking me breakfast, doing the chores, and I'm just gonna be sitting in my chair
Exactly.
reading a book. Ain't no damn way. Their
Yeah.
socks are gonna be 2 feet from the laundry basket. The dishes are gonna be unwashed in the sink.
Yeah.
But when I'm in the mood, they're all gonna be there to give me what I want.
Yeah. And then they all have different kinks. You have the BDSM guy, you got the super aggressive guy, you got the really nice, romantic, cheesy, let me just enjoy myself, super romantic. Then you got
That's
the guys
just
down
it.
for
I don't-
fuck all anything. You know, you got all your stereotypes. It's just
I
like,
just want one guy I can train all that with. One guy I can train all that. I don't need
And then
4
you
of
have-
you with 4 different things, okay? Just one guy.
then you have the one scene of all the big group.
One guy with
All those
multiple
are filled, and you're just
personalities.
like,
That's what I
get
need.
fucked. This bitch
I
is
just
not
need you
walking
all to
tomorrow.
read the
She's
make
not
games.
fucking walking.
Oh, Lord.
And they're all fucking well endowed. It's just like, this bitch cannot take 3 9-inch dicks. Not happening. It's physically no. Porn stars even that fucking good. Okay, Jenna Jameson couldn't fucking handle that shit. Okay, and she's a pro.
There's a witch in the make game, so I just had an idea.
There's a witch in the maid game. Okay, so
Oh
apparently
no.
Kristen keeps throwing this book. Maid games, maid games.
It's not gonna happen, Kristen. Stop
There's a
trying to
way.
make games happen. It's not gonna happen for me.
There's a witch, and I just have free reign. You just let me pick whatever I want.
I mean, you
You've
can
been all
take
been
it.
warned.
Doesn't mean I wouldn't do an effort.
I've already done a read along for it, so
Ah,
I won't.
you lucked out.
But it's a time.
Yes, goodness.
How did we get on
Reverse
this
Harem's
topic?
just, man, I gotta be in a mood to read one of those to begin with, because some of the stupidity in them, I'm just like,
I think, to be honest, I've tried like 3, and I've only liked 1. And that's because they didn't have any sort of sexual encounter at all.
mm.
And then the author decided she decided to take it off and not continue the series. And I was just like,
Really?
that was the one. That was the one. And it just wasn't meant to be.
Like,
What about you, Laura? What trope don't you like?
I don't know. I don't have a trope that maybe second chance. Second chance. Like I'm not a huge fan of that, but there is times where it could work, you know? But usually it's just like I totally see why these people weren't together anymore and they don't need to be back together. Like that's usually how I feel. But I don't know. Sometimes it can work.
Did you read
My
Before I
favorite-
Let Go?
I was
I
just gonna
did.
ask that. I was
and
just
I liked
gonna
that.
ask that. I feel like that's an example of a good.
That made sense to me because it was really their grief that tore them
Yes.
apart. Like that makes sense. But most of these second chance romances is like, you guys should have stayed apart. Like the same problem's gonna come up again, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I consider, it's funny because I consider Second Chance also to be like they were never actually together, but like think of like like a widow romance is like a second chance, or like they were friends as childhood and then they were like separated out for years, and then he comes back or she comes back, and then they start their romance then.
Mm.
I don't know, there's always I like it, and especially when they were married or they were separated. Like in, oh gosh, Day of the Duchess, like usually in historicals, like Day of the Duchess by Sarah McLean. That is just and it's usually over kind of like Before I Let Go, it over something serious, something like that kind of separated them. But yeah, but I can see how being second chance you wouldn't like it because it's
Yeah.
I feel like there was a reason.
Yeah.
Laura will say she doesn't like historical.
I don't.
That's a lie.
Except
That's a
sometimes
lie.
I do. Listen, I don't know, okay? I don't know. Sometimes it works, but I feel like it's very rare. I just don't like historical time periods. But
'Cause
sometimes
almost
I do.
every
I
time
don't know.
Laura says she doesn't like historical, I'm like, but you like this book and this book and this book and this book.
I like historical fantasy too. That's like really, that's like my most favorite kind is like a historical fantasy too.
Mm.
Yeah. I think that's what a lot of like fantasy romance, they feel like historical
Mm-hmm.
inspired.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Because, you know, like most of the like think of the really popular fantasy romance books. Think of them. Like name the top, in your mind, what's the top 3 fantasy romance books?
Akatar.
ACOTAR. Okay, another
Catherine.
series. What else? What other series out
From
there?
Blood and Ash. Yeah,
Mhm.
From Blood and
The
Ash.
Plated Prisoner.
Go. Okay, I haven't read those 2, but I read ACOTAR, and I've, I read the City of Bones, whatever that one. But like, there's always an element that is historically based. Like you feel like you're in another world, and they don't have like modern technology because they have fucking magic. Like
Yeah.
magic has replaced the technology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I get that feel all the time. So when you actually read like historical fantasy, you're like, where's the romance? Where is it? This is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard someone state too as well that like an urban fantasy is like Crescent City because it's like a whole new different, it's modern technology and magic together. But then also I've heard that if it's in our world, like the Mortal Instruments, that's actually technically a contemporary fantasy. So I find that I always consider those just urban fantasy because it's in an urban city kind of thing. But
That's what I
apparently
consider
there's
urban
different-
fantasy because that's literally what the frick urban means. It means city.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if they're in a city, it's urban. I've always wondered, I'm like, where's the rural fantasy?
Right.
Small town.
Well, no.
I'm like, where's the fantasies with the ranchers?
I feel like that's cozy fantasy.
Yeah,
fantasy.
probably.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Cozy.
That's what
Yeah,
Legend
they
of
kind of
Lattes
feel-
is. It's a rural fantasy.
Yeah, the rural fantasies.
I'm gonna go with that.
I
I'm
think
gonna,
it's the
I'm gonna make
R's.
up a
People
new
wouldn't be able to-
I
subgenre.
do too.
Rural.
But then some people like call fantasy, they call it fantasy, and I'm like, that's paranormal.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if it's set in our world, if you can literally visit the place, I consider that paranormal.
Yeah.
Even if it has like fae and witches and shit.
I think you just
I
like
see that.
depending on who you are as a person, truthfully, because
Yeah.
like look at the 5 of us, we all have different opinions on like what a fantasy actually is and like urban contemporary blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah. It's like I've watched so many YouTubers that on the same book they're like, this is urban, this is contemporary, this is fantasy romance. It's like what they deem the percentage of the book to what genre.
Every time I watch one of those, I'm like, no, it's not. You're wrong.
Or like I've seen books where like this has a praise kink, this has a degrading kink, like the same book. I've said it's
How do
more
you mix those
degrading
up?
because there's an equal balance and it depends on which one sticks out to you as a person. Like one booktuber said that this had a praise kink in the book, and I said there was a degrading kink in the book. And
We
I
can
actually
have
went back
both,
and I
but, like, I don't-
balanced it out. They are about equal. So it just
But I
depends
don't
on
think you could ever confuse one for the other.
No,
then.
you can't. but it's just which one stands out the most to you. What are the lines that you remember the most when you're categorizing the book? So like I would pick up the degrading kink because I think the degrading kink is a lot hotter. So that's the one I'm going to point out.
I wouldn't. I don't like degrading kink.
Oh, I like both, but the
I'm
degrading
a
lines
praise
were
girl.
dope
I
as
like the
fucking
praise.
fuck.
Apparently, I wasn't praised enough as a child.
That degrading kink in that book was dope. I was like, yes.
Like
all
some
the
people are tired of the whole good girl thing. I'm like, no, keep giving it to me. I like that.
Oh, I like the good girls. Don't get me wrong. I do. And I like the growls. They're nice.
How do we get on these topics?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Jackie. See,
Yeah.
just putting it on Jack.
That's why. I can talk about fuck almost anything.
Jackie's just like, here's this topic, but here's this little seed. Let me rope it back in, Jackie. Rope it back in. Here's your life vest.
I'm good at that. That's why I shouldn't host lives because my questions are all over the fucking place.
No, I love it.
Awesome.
Anywho.
Well, what are you feeling? 'Cause I think I was thinking of ending it around this time because I have to get up from work.
I'm an old lady. This is late for me.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
not
I'm like, it's 10. I've already put my jammies on during a sprint. I'm tired.
I was in my jammies before I started.
There you go. That's
See,
what
I
you do.
tried to be like professional for once.
Professional.
I tried. I gave the illusion.
Professional.
Yeah, professional.
It's like 9 o'clock here. I will not be filming tonight.
No.
We're batch filming tomorrow. I'm
Yeah,
off
this
on
past
Tuesday, so I might
weekend
do
again.
it.
Tomorrow's Monday, Jackie.
I know. Tomorrow night.
Oh, I'm like, don't you
When I go
work
to
on
work.
Mondays?
Yeah, but we're off on Tuesday because it's election day for the
Oh, well,
preliminary.
there you go. You could do all your stuff then.
Yeah, and
God bless America.
in my office is a ballot area, so we had to close it.
See? There you go. Tuesday.
Yeah, batch film on Tuesday,
I'll
and then go back in for a few hours of overtime.
I'll message you and I'll be like, Jackie, did you batch
you
film yet?
Because I got 4 wrap ups. I have a highlight video. I have a 52 book thing, and then I've got my self destruct list because it ends today. So that was gonna be filmed tomorrow anyway.
That's too much filming in one day for me.
Yeah, I can't do that much either.
Two
Those
videos is
wrap
like
ups, they're
turning it
gonna
off.
be itty bitty ones because I didn't really read a lot during those weeks.
Well, but Jackie doesn't like edit either, so
Yeah, I do
Oh,
one
true.
shot
It's like a one take.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
The most I
does
do is put the
minimal
book up
editing.
here in like the corner and stuff, and then
Yeah.
my vlogs. There's where most of the editing is on my vlogs because
Mm-hmm.
I have to do it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super lazy when it comes to editing. I'm like, you're gonna get the fuck ups. It's just fine.
Yeah, but that's like, I feel like that works for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there. Like I've gotten some comments saying like, hey, I like your content, I like the way you talk, but it would be so much better if like you edited more and kind of left out the gaps and the quiet moments.
Like, I will when I start getting paid for this content. Okay.
You know, and I was like, I get that, but it's like at the same time, like the people that like me, like this is a
Get it.
conversation, and that's what I feel like it is. Like I have a lot more people saying that, like I feel like I can talk to you, like I'm just talking with one of my girlfriends, and I'd rather have those than very like, hey, blah blah. But I have authors that like my reviews and my like straight shot stuff. Like every author review I do, they're like, you did that in one take. I'm like, yeah, I did.
I think it's just your shtick at this point.
Me too.
It is.
Yeah.
You did pick me for one of the best openers, so that's awesome. Because you can't like skip.
I can't skip through those damn things.
You can't skip
Part
it.
of your damn video.
It is.
Like, I like Laura's videos because she doesn't have one. She just gets to the point.
Yeah. I think I should like if I ever do merch, I should be like I sit on my floor and talk about books. That's gonna be on my shirt.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, that's your line.
It is. Sit on my floor and talk about books. Whenever I get my library, because we're planning on turning our guest room into a library, Lauren's like, "Are you gonna get a nice reading chair?" I'm like, "No, my shtick is I'm sitting on the floor, so I
floor.
kind of still have to sit on the floor."
Ruins your entire brand.
Yeah, I know it does.
I try to sit on the floor, and then my back is like, yeah, nope.
Oh,
My
I have a
back
pillow
is better.
behind me. There's a pillow behind me in that little like crook of my TV center and my bookshelf. There's a pillow behind me usually.
I mean, there's pillows behind me too. I usually have to have one under my butt and behind me. Otherwise, it hurts.
Yeah. But I also like adjust a lot. Like I move around and people are like, you touch your hair a lot, you touch your glasses. And I'm just like, that's how I am in real life too.
Be like, why are you complaining about my videos? You're not paying me anything. It's
I don't get
free.
paid for this. This
I
is
swear.
super fun.
Some of these people act like you're freaking live entertainment. It's like, bitch, I am a YouTube channel.
Yeah. I
You
don't
get what you get and don't throw
don't
a
think
fit.
I don't think I'll ever get monetized ever. No, I curse too much for that.
Jackie, if you got monetized, half of your videos would be beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep.
Yeah.
Lauren did dare me. He's like, I dare you to do one video this entire year where you don't curse. I'm like,
That should be like a punishment if you like. do
yeah, I
that.
feel like I can't curse my video. I'm like, oh, shit. I gotta refilm this now. I'm never filming at that point. I'm just not. It's
Crystal,
fine.
should we end this live?
I was waiting for you to say that, Becky. Because Becky has her ring and Jackie, and it's like, what's that?
What? What was that?
Well, thank you guys for watching.
Thanks for being here.
Hi, guys. For more shenanigans, turn back in on April 7th.
There you go.